guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, be sure to like and subscribe. So I asked you guys to ask me questions about writing, and you guys definitely delivered. I have a decent amount of good questions, so I decided to go ahead and do the video. Do you wish you could make edits for your characters? I wish that all the time. I wish there were like a show or a movie or a video camera in my brain so I could make edits of my characters, because I feel like that would be so cool. I hear a song and then I'm like, this song goes with my character so well. I should make an edit. Oh wait, there's no movie, there's no show, just a book. I can't make an edit of words. Do you like making mood/picture boards for your characters? Yes, I have Pinterest boards for all of my main characters in my newest project, and they're so cool. I love making Pinterest boards like based off of my characters, just to see their vibe and kind of see what they look like. Do you imagine your book, if it gets turned into a TV show or movie, do you imagine it like real people, 2D, or animated? I've always imagined it real people. I feel like that would bring it to life the best that it could. Not to say I wouldn't like it as a cartoon or anything, because I love cartoons, but I feel like I always imagine my books as real people. I'd never actually thought of them as cartoons until you said that comment, so that was pretty cool. How many main characters do you normally put? I normally put like 2 to 5, maybe 6. I feel like it really depends on the writer, if they're good at developing characters, how many they put. I'm really good at developing characters, so I feel the need to put more characters a lot of the times. Some people aren't as good at developing characters, or they get so many different characters that it gets all confused. But I have a good way of having a decent amount of characters, but not making it to where you don't understand what's going on. So I normally put, a lot of the time I'll put like 4 or 5 main characters. How many books do you want to publish? I have 2 that I definitely want to publish, which are the 2 most recent ones that I've been working on. The other ones, like the ones that I wrote when I was like 10 or 9, like I love those books and I'm really glad I have them, but I don't really want them to be published. I'm more proud and would feel more accomplished if I published my most recent ones. Do you like to fan cast certain actors or actresses as your characters when writing them? I think it's a really cool question, and I actually hadn't thought about that until people were commenting it, and I was like, I've never thought about that. Like, if I had a movie, if I had a show, who would act as these characters? And I couldn't really find anyone who looked like my characters, except for in one book I have the main character. I have a picture of what she looks like in my mind, and then I was like, oh, well, Hailee Steinfeld looks a lot like her. They look really similar, so I feel like it would be cool if she played. That's really the only one I've fan casted, I guess. Do you often imagine shows or movies for your books? Yes, I do, definitely. How long do you think it takes to type a book? So this kind of varies, because I used to type my books on my parents' computer off of like book, because I would write them in a physical copy and then I just copy from that onto the computer. But I think most of the time it would take like a year to do that, because since it's my parents' computer, I can't always just be on it. But now that I have my own computer, I think I will get to spend more time on it and whenever I want. So I'll get to type out more often, which that'll be really good. So I think hopefully my books will not take a year. But now for some of my books, I'm also not copying them off of a physical copy anymore. Like my newest project, I only had written down like 3 chapters, and then now I'm on to chapter 4. I have nothing in a physical copy. I just have to make it up now. So I think it'll take no less than a year to finish, hopefully. Do you like lots of plots or just one? I like one main plot for sure, maybe a second main plot, but like most of the time just one main plot, and then maybe like 1 or 2 little plots throughout. How long average does it take to write a book? Well, it really depends on the book and also on how many chapters I'm writing and how detailed it is and what the story is. I think some of them have taken like a year to write. Some of them have taken like 6 months. So it really does vary. I think I have a few books that have only taken like 3 months to write. Do you ever leave plot holes in the books? Yeah, definitely. I've been trying to be better about that, especially with my newer books, but I'll go back and reread and be like, that doesn't make any sense there. There's no connection with this. Especially with a bunch of my older books, there's just random things and I'm like, that kind of doesn't make any sense at all. What genre do you most like to write? I like to write fiction, definitely, because it's not real. I personally do not like writing nonfiction because then I have to know all the history and like I just like making up stuff. So I like writing fiction. I like mystery and plot twists and suspense type stuff. And I'd really like to get into like a fantasy book. If your books were songs, which song would they be? I don't know. For starters, I have like a lot of books, so there's no way I could go through all of them and tell you the songs that they would all be, but I feel like instead of just one song, there's a bunch of different songs that are like my books. And especially since for my most recent project, I have a Spotify playlist that is like songs that kind of remind me of the vibe of my book. How long does it take you to think up an idea for your book? A lot of the time, it takes a decent amount of time to fully develop it, but to think of an idea is more like I'll be doing something and then, oh, there's an idea. How can we develop that in order for it to be a book? Or should we develop it and make it a book? Should we put it to the side and work on it later? Should we just say that's a cool idea, let's let someone else write it? That's about. There's no really specific time, it just kind of comes to me. Which authors or books have inspired you to write? For different books that I've written, there's different books that have inspired me. So for one of my books, A Series of Unfortunate Events and Scarlet and Ivy inspired me a lot. I feel like those books are super like mysterious and suspenseful with plot twists, and that's a lot of what that book is. And then my most recent project, I would say a lot of it currently reminds me of The Hunger Games. Not really a specific author, but there is a girl I watch on YouTube who she is an author, but she hasn't published any of her books yet. Her name is Anna Niu. You should definitely go watch her videos if you like writing. Her channel is so interesting, and I feel like I've learned a lot from watching her videos. And she talks about her books all the time, and she's really inspired me to get back into writing because I had this time where I was just not writing, and then I started watching her videos and I was like, actually, why did I stop writing? I really like writing, so now I'm back into it, guys. Can you explain your characterization process? So when I'm developing characters, I basically have this notepad that I always write my characters on. I take a long time thinking about their names because I find names really important. I don't want to just pick the first name that comes to my mind. I like looking at a bunch of different names. I'll go on those baby name websites and look at like so many names, and I can write down what they look like, their personality traits. Sometimes I'll write things that they like, things that they don't like, their hobbies, their habits. I like to write down their birthday, their age, obviously. It takes a long time. I definitely like to spend a lot of time developing my characters to make sure they're really, really good before I add them into the story. Do you ever get random ideas throughout the day for your books? Or do you always have to make time to come up with the ideas? So I guess it really depends. A lot of the time it's just random ideas throughout the day. I'll just be thinking and then, oh, that would be a good thing to add to the book. But sometimes I do make special times where I'll just come in my room and I'll just sit there, either listening to music or staring into space. And scenes will play out in my mind sometimes, and I'll say, what should happen next here? What needs to happen in the story to make it how it needs to be? Who's your favorite character you've come up with? That's a really good question. And this is gonna sound weird, but like, I haven't met all my characters yet. Especially in the new book that I'm writing. It's like, I know what they look like, I know their name, but like I haven't met them. But I do love my characters in my new project. But I guess I would say maybe Alora, who's in my other most recent project. She's the oldest of 3 triplets, and she's very protective of her sisters, and yeah, I just really like her. I like so many of my characters. I love them all. If you could choose one of your books to be a movie or show, which one would you choose, and who would you cast as the main characters? So, again, I don't really know about casting main characters. Like, I guess Haley Steinfeld. Like, other than that, I don't really know about that. But I would definitely choose the project that I'm working on. Like, my newest one, I would definitely choose that one to be a show. I feel like that would be so cool to have different episodes. I'd love that so much. That is all of the questions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.